I was sitting across from Linda at breakfast. She looked up from her oatmeal.
Excuse me, sir. Do I know you? I'm sorry, I don't remember. You seem very nice, though.
I'm 81 now. That was 3 years ago. But that morning, that's when I understood. We'd been married 54 years when she asked me that. 54 years. And the worst part wasn't that she didn't recognize my face. The worst part was, I couldn't remember the last time I'd really looked at hers. At 47, I made partner at the firm. Linda threw a party. She wore that blue dress she'd been saving. She kept her arm around my waist all night, smiling at everyone, so proud. She kept telling people, I always knew he'd make it. I'm so proud of him. I remember shaking hands, drinking scotch, talking about cases. I don't remember thanking her. I don't remember dancing with her. I don't even remember if I told her she looked beautiful. At 52, our daughter Emily got married. Linda planned everything, every detail. She must have called me at the office 20 times asking about flowers, about the seating chart, about whether my mother needed a ride. I kept saying, whatever you think is best, honey, I trust you. I thought I was being supportive, but I wasn't there. Not really. The wedding was beautiful. Everyone said so. Linda cried during the ceremony. I saw her crying, but I was thinking about a deposition I had Monday morning. At 58, Linda asked if we could take a vacation. She said, Robert, what if we went back to Cape Cod, just the two of us, like our honeymoon, remember? I said soon. Just let me get through this trial. She said, you always say that. I said, I know, I promise, soon. The trial ended. I never brought up Cape Cod again. Neither did she. When did we stop talking? I mean really talking. Not how was your day or did you pay the electric bill, but talking. The kind of talking we did when we were young. When we'd stay up until 2 a.m. just talking about everything, about nothing. When did that stop? Was it so slow I didn't notice? At 62, I had a health scare. They thought it might be my prostate. Turned out to be nothing. But for 2 weeks, waiting for the biopsy results, I was terrified. Linda drove me to every appointment, sat in every waiting room, held my hand when the doctor came in. She told me, it's going to be okay. Whatever it is, we'll handle it together. And I remember thinking, I should tell her how much she means to me. But I didn't. I thought, we have time. There's always time, right? At 65, I retired. I thought, now we'll have time together. All that time I'd been working for, building for, saving for. Now we'd finally have it. But I didn't know what to do with myself. I'd spent 40 years at that office. 40 years with a schedule, with meetings, with purpose. Suddenly I was home all day and what was I supposed to do? Linda had her routine, her book club on Tuesdays, her garden, her friends from church. I'd sit in the den watching cable news. She'd walk past and ask if I wanted lunch. I'd say yes. She'd make me a sandwich. I'd say thank you, and she'd go back to whatever she was doing. We were in the same house, but we were alone. At 68, Emily called and said we should come visit, see the grandkids. Linda got so excited. She started packing 3 days early, made lists, bought gifts for the kids. I said I didn't feel like traveling, said my back was bothering me. It wasn't. I don't know. I didn't want to go. Linda said, maybe I could just go for a few days. Would you be okay? I said, sure, you go, have fun. She asked me 3 times if I was sure. Each time I said yes. Linda went without me. She was gone for a week. I sat in that den every single day, watching TV, eating frozen dinners, and I remember the house felt so quiet, too quiet. But when she came back, I didn't tell her I'd missed her. She came through the door with her suitcase, smiling, excited to tell me about the trip. She said, "Robert, you should have seen the kids. They got so big. And Emily made this wonderful—" I just said, "That's great. I'm glad you had a good time." I never looked up from the TV. Why didn't I tell her? Why didn't I say, "I missed you. The house felt empty without you"? Why didn't I say that? At 72, Linda started leaving notes around the house. Little reminders, sticky notes everywhere. Turn off the stove, lock the back door. Doctor appointment Thursday. I thought she was just being organized, maybe a little forgetful. We were getting older. At 74, she asked me the same question 3 times in one morning. "Robert, did you take your pills?" "Yes, Linda." 10 minutes later. "Honey, did you remember your medication?" "Yes, you already asked me that." She looked confused. "I did?" I got annoyed. I said, "Yes, Linda, you already asked me that." She said, "I'm sorry, I don't remember." I should have been more patient. I should have seen it. At 76, I found her standing in the kitchen at 2 in the morning. She was just standing there, in her nightgown, crying. I said, "Linda, what's wrong?" She said, "I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I came down here for something, but I can't remember what it was. Why can't I remember?" I led her back to bed, told her it was okay, told her to go back to sleep. But I was scared. I made an appointment with Dr. Richardson the next week. At 77, he said it was Alzheimer's, early stage, but progressing. He gave us pamphlets, resources, talked about medications that might slow it down. He said, "You should make the most of the time you have left while she still knows who you are." Linda sat there holding my hand, tears running down her face. She said, "Robert, I'm scared. I don't want to forget you." I said, "You won't. I'm right here. I promise." She said, "Promise me you won't leave me. Promise me when I don't remember you anymore, you'll still come see me." I promised. I said I'd never leave. But the truth is, I'd already left, years ago. I just didn't know it yet. At 78, on that Tuesday morning in March, when she looked at me and asked if she knew me, that's when I understood. I hadn't lost her that morning. I'd lost her at 65 when I retired and didn't know how to be her husband anymore. I'd lost her at 58 when I said soon about Cape Cod. I'd lost her at 52 when I didn't watch her cry at Emily's wedding. I'd lost her at 47 when I didn't thank her for being proud of me. I'd been losing her for 30 years, one moment at a time, one not now at a time, one I'm too busy at a time. At 79, she had more bad days than good days. She'd call me by her father's name. She'd ask where her mother was. She'd get angry when I tried to correct her. The doctor said not to correct her, said to just go along with it, keep her calm. So I became whoever she needed me to be. Some days I was her father. Some days I was a nice man who made her lunch. Some days she'd look right through me like I wasn't there at all. At 80, we moved her into Sunrise Memory Care. I couldn't take care of her anymore. She needed round-the-clock help, nurses, professionals. Emily said it was the right thing to do. She said, "Dad, you can't do this alone. You're 80 years old. You need help." I signed the papers. I helped pack her things, her clothes, her photos. That blue dress from the party at 47. She'd kept it all these years. I brought her to her new room. It was small, but nice. They'd put up pictures of our family, of Emily, of the grandkids. Linda looked around and said, "Is this where I live now?" I said, "Yes, just for a little while." She said, "Okay." She didn't ask why. She didn't ask to come home. She just said, "Okay." I visit every day. Every single day. I sit with her for 2 hours, sometimes 3. I hold her hand. I tell her about my day even though she doesn't understand. I tell her about Emily, about the grandkids. Sometimes she smiles. Sometimes she asks who I am. Sometimes she just looks out the window. Yesterday, I was sitting next to her bed. She was looking out the window at the birds. I said, "Linda, do you remember Cape Cod?" She turned to me, looked right at me. For just a second, I thought, maybe something's still there. But she said, "Cape Cod, that's a nice name." I said, "We were supposed to go there for our anniversary. I kept saying, soon." She said, "That sounds lovely." I said, "I'm sorry I never took you." She smiled. "That's okay." But she didn't know what I was talking about. She didn't remember. I'm 81 years old. I spent 54 years married to Linda. But how many of those years was I actually there? How many mornings did I really see her? How many times did she ask me something and I said, "Not now"? How many times did she reach for my hand and I was too busy to hold it? At 47, I should have danced with her at that party. At 52, I should have put my arm around her at the wedding. At 58, I should have said yes to Cape Cod. At 65, I should have learned how to be with her when I wasn't working. At 68, I should have gone to see Emily with her. At 72, I should have been patient when she forgot. At 77, I should have held her longer when she said she was scared. At 78, when she asked who I was, I should have said, "I'm the man who didn't appreciate you enough. I'm the man who was always too busy. I'm the man who thought he had more time. I'm your husband, and I'm sorry." But I didn't say that. I just said, "It's Robert, your husband." And she said, "Oh, I'm sorry." I thought I was building a life for us, but I was just existing, going through the motions, waiting for someday. And now she's gone. She's sitting 10 feet away from me, but she's gone. And the worst part? The absolute worst part? I'd give anything, everything, for her to call me one more time from the kitchen and say, "Robert, do you want some lunch?" And this time, I'd get up. I'd walk into that kitchen. I'd put my arms around her, and I'd say, "No, let me make you lunch. And then let's just sit. Let's talk. Let's not wait for someday." But I can't go back. I'm here every day now, holding her hand, telling her I love her even though the words don't reach her anymore. This morning, She looked at me and said, "You have kind eyes." I said, "Thank you, Linda." She said, "Do you know where my husband is?" "Robert. His name is Robert." I said, "He's right here. He never left." She said, "Oh, good. I don't want him to worry." I spent 50 years with her, but I wonder, how many days did I actually see her? How many moments did I let slip by because I thought there'd be more? She asked me not to leave her, and I haven't. I'm here every day. But I wonder, how many years was she waiting for me to really be there? When did I stop looking at her face? Was it so slow I didn't notice? Or did I just stop looking?